Hello, welcome to today's episode of Black Belt Startup with Ferris. Thank you for tuning in. What's new in the world of entrepreneurship? A few days ago, I spoke at a CEO luncheon in Santa Cruz. It was a lovely event. Met some seasoned founders and also a few new to entrepreneurship. And my talk was about the experience we've had at Enor, one of the companies I've built, in pivoting from selling to small businesses, to SMBs, to Fortune 500, on when to pivot, the requirements or the prerequisites to pivoting, and also how to leverage the strength that you have as a founder and also the strength of your team to enable that pivot. The moderator of the event asked each CEO to highlight their number one challenge for the year. I listened carefully and actually took a lot of notes. So some had some operational and back end issues. Some really had challenges in terms of prioritizing what to work on, and most said they have an issue with one thing. You guessed it, sales. Sales continues to be a challenge for many founders. Whether you are new to entrepreneurship, you're not sure how to get your first one, two, or three clients, or maybe you're a seasoned entrepreneur, you're a CEO of a company, and you're trying to maybe break the six-digit figure mark, or maybe you're trying to get into a new market, or maybe you're trying to go from selling to small businesses to sell to the enterprise. So sales continues to be a problem, which brings me to today's topic on these five assassins, these silent killers that quietly sabotage businesses. Because sales, I will talk about sales in the first as the first assassin, but if you're not getting a good handle on sales, if sales continues to be a challenge, it's going to affect your growth. It's going to affect your ability to hire and delegate, and worse, it could drive your business to the ground. So, in these five assassins that I will cover, I'll go into each one of them. I'll unpack them. I'll share some examples, and then, most importantly, what is it that you can do to avoid them? And if you are joining us here for the first time, um, my name is Faris Al Halou. I've built and grown several businesses, some to seven figures, one to eight figures. We sold that business to Dentsu, the global media giant. And Startup with Faris is a resource for entrepreneurs to help them build, grow, and scale their business to six, seven, and eight figures. So, with that in mind, I want you to think of, just take a moment and think of all the times that you've met someone talking about their side hustle, or their side gig, or maybe someone in the same group who's contemplating starting a new business, and then you meet them 3, 4, 5 months later. Nothing happened. They're still talking about having their own business, and maybe now they're more excited about another idea. And if we are being completely honest, maybe yourself, maybe in the same category, you're full of ambition, but pause in progress. And I don't want the next thing I'm about to say to sound comforting. It shouldn't be comforting, uh, but the vast majority of people will never launch. As a matter of fact, according to a Gallup and Shopify um, survey, 62% of Americans want to be their own boss. They want to have their own business, and they want to do it maybe for a lot of reasons, because they want to be their own boss, of course, but maybe they want to have an opportunity to earn more money. They have a desire for more flexible work schedule, or maybe they want to pursue a passion project. And there's a slew of reasons why people want to have their own businesses. But the other stat is only 9%. Only 9% with those who have ideas, have a business idea, they actually take the leap. They make that move. So, so this is for obviously those who want to start a business and they haven't. The same five assassins that I'm about to describe and help equip you to fight them and win over them, the same the same challenges here could do face those of us who've started. Maybe we started and we're struggling. Maybe we're growing, but at a very slow rate, and we're not scaling at the rate we could or we should. Maybe we're not taking the required steps to go to a new market or to go after a larger audience or a project with larger margins. So these five killers that I'm about to describe and discuss with you is not only applicable to new business owners, the new entrepreneurs, but also for those of us who've been around and they're still struggling to grow and meet their goals. And I say this with a lot of compassion. You know, a lot of it, I think people are struggling in sales or in business, not because people don't care, or maybe not because their ideas aren't valuable or maybe not because their hearts aren't in it. I think it's because they're they're caught in a quiet, seductive trap, the illusion of progress. Folks, I speak with a lot of founders, 1 to 3 founders every week on the average. A lot of people, a lot of these, especially those want to be founders. Again, I'm saying this with a lot of respect, but my role, my job, my mission is to highlight the challenges and show you ways to overcome these challenges. So these founders, some of these founders I speak with, they end up spending weeks or even months getting ready just to get ready. And I think we start telling ourselves, hey, I'm being strategic, or I'm doing my due diligence, or I'm being thorough, or maybe I'm not quite there yet. I get it. It's important to plan, it's important to strategize. I want you to do some due diligence. But behind all this, all the analysis, all the drafts, or the digital whiteboards, I want to make sure you put your effort in front of a real paying human being. I mean, that is what's holding a lot of people back. And again, even if you are a business owner and you are selling, but maybe you've been to the low market and you want to go mid market, or you want to go to the enterprise, the same thing applies. How do I put myself? How do I position myself in front of the lead and the customer I'm aspiring to get? See, launching a new business or launching a new initiative or going into a new market or upselling, all of these things that we haven't done before, it means that we have to step out of our comfort zone, and we have to hold up something that we've created, and then ask people to buy into it. And for those of us who struggle with growing a business or with sales, and for consultants and service providers, it's not just scary, it's personal. Because if you have a tech company, you're developing products, you're selling products, these products are on a shelf. But if you are in consulting or in services, you're not just selling a product, you are the product. You are the expert. You have the ideas that you're inspiring people with these ideas. You have people are buying your process, your presence, your skills. And the fear that these potential clients will say no, or worse, they'll just try your service and maybe hate it and just have a negative review about your business. That fear keeps a lot of us from ever stepping out. So instead of serving, we keep cooking in the kitchen, and we keep busy rewriting our about page on the website, and we keep polishing the sales page for the 7th time, or we agonize over web design templates or logo templates as if our entire business depends on it. And without realizing it, we start calling fear by fancier names: strategy, positioning, or the one I love the most, getting clarity. But the truth is, and I say this with love and with compassion, you are not building a business. If you're in that mindset, you're not building a business. You are actually avoiding one. The market doesn't reward perfection. Be clear. The market does not reward perfection. It rewards momentum. And momentum only comes when you open the doors. Even if your first offer is messy, imperfect, and still evolving, it is the first step towards building something, and hopefully something big. And if you're not convinced, Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn, he said, if you're not embarrassed by the first iteration of the product that you put out there, you've launched too late. Again, I'm all for planning. I'm all for taking calculated risks. I'm all for strategizing and assessing the market and vetting the idea. But you have to be out there without getting the product or the service out there and listening to clients and tweaking things and refining things and learning the hard way. It's really hard for you to build this business and grow. So today, I want to help you cut through the noise and cut through that self-doubt that you have and finally launch the business or take that big initiative that you've been building in your head for far too long. And these five silent killers that are quietly sabotaging your services and your consulting business are the fear of rejection, perfectionism, solving the wrong problems, ignoring feedback, and then last but not least, trying to do it all alone. Okay, so we're going to go into each one of them, unpack them, share with you some real life examples, and then show you how to spot them, and especially if they've crept in on you, and then break free from them. Before we get into it, let me make sure if we have any comments, any questions. Again, if you are new to this channel, I'm here on a mission to help entrepreneurs get to their destination with less bruises than the ones I've had. I built several businesses, some to 6 and 7 figures, some to 7 figure, 2 to 7 figures, and 1 to 8 figures. And we sold that last one to Dentsu, the global media giant. And I have startupwithferris.com and blackbeltstartup.com with a ton of useful resources for entrepreneurs to start, grow, and scale their businesses to 6, 7, and 8 figures. So if you have a question about a challenge you're facing today in your business, maybe you have a business idea, you're not sure what the next step is, or maybe you started and you don't know how to market, or maybe you're out there and you can't sell, you're not sure about pricing, you're not sure about how to hire. If you have any question about any of these areas, any of the business pillars, reach out to me on any of our platforms, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. We have a weekly newsletter that you can sign up for. And then you can ask me if it's something very personal, you don't want to share this publicly in a comment. You can email me again at ferris@startupwithferris.com. And it's Ferris spelled F-E-R-A-S, like my first name. So email me there, and I keep all that information confidential, and I get back to you. My goal is to help you get started and start strong and start on a solid ground, so that you can get your destination with faster and with the least amount of resources. And a reminder, we have this live stream and these episodes every other Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. This is where I cover a topic about entrepreneurship, and then I answer questions that we get from the community. So sign up so hit the subscribe button, follow us. This way you don't miss any of these episodes. And again, we answer the questions that we get from you. And let me see if we might have a comment here. So I'm from LinkedIn. Well said, Ferris. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, on my interface here, I don't see who left this comment, but I appreciate it. And if you have any questions or you want to share your experience as well, please add it in the comment, and I'll be more than happy to share your perspective and also answer your question if you have one. But thank you so much. I'll find out after the live stream and answer your question. We have this on all the podcast platforms, so you can listen to it as well. let's dive right into the topic of the 5 assassins. So number one, the first assassin is fear-driven inaction on sales. So I alluded to sales a lot earlier, but I want to show you some examples. These are examples I hear, I see, I read about, and a lot of it also just they come from the founders I speak with. A copywriter, they write, and they write very well. They keep posting daily on social media, but never pitch clients directly. So posting daily is great. You're building this upper funnel. You are establishing your credibility. You're practicing your craft. You're showing people how well you write. That's great, but you have to pitch. You have to pitch. And when I say pitch, I don't mean this sleazy way of selling. No, it's addressing a problem that a client has, right? So that's an example. Another example I see, this business coach, they've built their curriculum, they've built their 10 module course, but they have not emailed their list. And they have a long list of emails that they've acquired and curated over time. And they're just very concerned about sending this email out. What if this? What if that? You have developed the course. Get the word out about the course. The third example is a founder of a virtual assistant company. She has redesigned her website 3 times. She's trying to target a new market, a new country, but never reach out to a single lead in this new market. Build it and they come doesn't work anymore. So you have to start to do something about reaching out to people in the market that you are targeting. And then the last example is a brand strategist who is still working on clarity, my favorite, but has never offered a paid session. So again, it's hard. I know sales is hard. I remember in my very first business, when my co-founder and I decided to start a business after this painful layoff that I've talked about on so many podcasts, and you can hear the story. You can just go on our website, startupaffairs.com, and go to the speaking menu, click on speaking, and you'll see all these podcasts. I talk about this story a lot. People ask me about it. So when we decided to start a business, both my co-founder and I did not have any sales background, 0 sales background. So I had to learn from listening to CDs, and actually paid for some courses and learned a lot from these coaches. And so we knew what needed to be done, but we were very, very fearful of going out there and telling people that, hey, we can help you get on the internet. That was the hot thing at the time in 2003. So we kept refining our pitch. We kept fine-tuning our pricing. We trying to perfect our positioning as these up-and-coming digital marketing consultants. But behind the scenes, we were just scared that if we actually pitch someone, what if they say? What if they say no? Scared that we would hear crickets, that silence that would confirm all our doubts. But you know what? I've learned this over the years and after $5 million in sales, combined sales across the different companies, confidence doesn't come before the sale. It comes after. And selling isn't something that you wait to feel ready for. It's something that you learn by doing. Just like any other muscle, it requires reps, it requires focus, it requires preparation, and then you go out and do it, and you'll be terrible at it the first time, you'll be bad at it the second time, you'll be okay at it the third time, and then after a while, if you are listening to the pain points of your clients, and you're sharing with them how you can solve these issues and how you can have them that peace of mind, help them get to that peace of mind, and also they have aspirations or something that they really have been wanting to address for a long time, and you're the person to take care of it confidently, they will buy from you. Again, it might not work the first time, the second time, the third time, the 10th time. That is fine. I've got a whole lot of rejections under under this story of success that we have. That the $65 million in sales did not happen overnight, and we struggled a lot, my co-founder and a lot of the founders, to get people to buy from us. But you get better at it, and then it becomes less painful, and at one point it becomes enjoyable for most of us, because we are, again, solving problems. We're not sleazy salespeople trying to shove some product or some service down our clients' throats. No, we're listening, we're understanding the concerns, the issues, and then we're offering a solution. So that is the first assassin. The second one here is on pursuing the wrong problem. And that's another trap, because you could be solving the wrong problem brilliantly, but it's not going to work. You got to solve the right problem. But let me first give you some examples. A leadership coach targeting startups, and who doesn't see leadership as a pressing pain yet. Or maybe a career consultant, and we have those on the slides here, or maybe a career consultant focused on finding purpose instead of landing jobs. Or maybe an automation or a systems expert. Oh, sorry, the slides are not moving. Let me make sure the slide is progressing here. I will continue. The systems expert, the automation expert, who's trying to help solopreneurs automate, even though the target audience he's going after, they don't have a whole lot of clients yet. Automation is maybe not top of mind. I'm big on automation, but my friend, if you sell automation, especially now with AI, and you know how to customize systems and platforms, go after people who have this problem. A solopreneur who's just starting who has a couple of clients, they don't need automation as of yet. Or maybe a financial consultant who is offering audits to freelancers who aren't tracking expenses at all. They're just starting their business, or maybe they're doing this as a side gig, and they don't have the need for financial planning, or maybe for someone to audit what they have. So as a consultant, as an entrepreneur, you're all about problem solving. That's why you are into entrepreneurship. But if you're not solving a real problem, you're not going to get sales. You're not going to grow their business. Now, you might be like, why do people do this? Probably subconsciously, unconsciously, because you might be deeply passionate about a particular challenge, and you might have the perfect method for solving it. But if no one is paying to solve it, you're really not building a business. You're running a passion project, maybe a hobby. So before you pour your time, your money, or energy into this business idea, ask yourself, vet the idea, ask yourself, is the problem urgent enough, or tangible enough, or concrete enough, and a real problem that people would pay me money to make it go away? If not, pause, reframe, and pivot. And if you're not sure how to do that, you can use my 10+5 method. Speak with 10 potential clients and research the heck out of 5 competitors. When you speak with potential clients, you get an understanding of what their issues are and how they're solving these issues. And then when you speak, or maybe they're not happy with the time it takes to solve these issues. Maybe they're not happy with the price. Maybe they're not happy with the quality of the service they're getting from other providers. So those are all strong signals to help you package your idea to present your offer to them. And then when you research the competitors, 5 competitors, you get a very good understanding of how they're packaging their services, what market they're going after, how they're pricing. All of that is critical information that will help you better package your offer and then deliver on it. So that is the second assassin. Going into the third one, and again, for those who are just joining us today, we're talking about these forces, what I'm calling the 5 secret killers, the assassins that are preventing you from taking that first step to start a business, that first step to get into a new market, that first step to grow the business beyond maybe small and mid-sized businesses, go after the Fortune 500, whatever the case might be, whatever is preventing you from that next big thing for your business, I'm addressing this today. So we talked about two of them. Now the third assassin, perfectionism masquerading as strategy. So examples, this business owner, this consultant who's delayed launching the service page for 6 months. Folks, I'm not making this stuff up. This clarity coach who keeps rewriting his intake form instead of offering free calls so they can connect with clients. Or maybe this marketing expert stuck tweaking her proposal instead of sending the proposal out. And then you have the HR advisor who's waiting for the perfect framework before taking on clients. And perfection is one of the most seductive distractions in entrepreneurship. I mentioned the example earlier of what Reid Hoffman said about if you're not embarrassed by the first iteration of your product, you've launched too late. So I'm big on quality of deliverables, on being professional, your proposal, your website, the way you meet and greet potential clients. Yes, do your best to learn about these things if you haven't done those before, and practice and research and use ChatGPT to brainstorm and make sure your presentation is spotless. All of that is important, but I don't want you to have this illusion of progress. You're busy trying to perfect things, and you're hurting on the cash flow front. You're hurting on the revenue front. You're hurting on making a payroll. So don't want to confuse this illusion of progress with actual real results being out there in the marketplace. And I've seen founders delay for months. They delay choosing the perfect template, the perfect headline, or maybe the perfect pricing tier or the price model or the pricing strategy. Meanwhile, someone else with a clunky offer and a Google Doc has already closed 3 clients. So your first offer, your first deliverable, your first consulting session, your first training course, all of that will never be perfect, but it can still be profitable, or at least you can get a sale out of it. And the minute you start getting this offer, this training, this consulting out in the real world. So yes, on doing on planning and delivering the service you have with quality and with care and but I don't want this to be holding you back from being out there in the marketplace. Number 4, the fourth silent assassin here is ignoring feedback that feels uncomfortable. And that's difficult in life. If you're in a relationship, I'm married for a long time, trust me, ignore feedback at your own peril. But in business, examples here, personal stuff later. A mindset coach who refuses to niche down. They've talked to 20, 5, 10, 20 prospects, and everyone is telling them that this offer, what you're offering, is very vague, very generic. You got to niche down. Or maybe this SEO consultant who keeps pushing complex retainers and the clients are asking for a simple audit. Or maybe a UX strategist who resists adjusting her onboarding. This is when you have a new client and you want to get them used to your processes and you're highlighting the scope of the work and the timeline and the milestones and what they're supposed to do for the project, this onboarding phase. And we have a really, really nice article on our website, startupaffairs.com, on onboarding. And we have actually a whole, what we call a pillar, a page with all aspects of delivery. So if you're new to to business, or you're struggling in delivering projects, make sure to check out the website and then go onto the service delivery section. And we have, I think, 20 plus articles on every aspect of delivery, from communication to setting expectations to project management to delegation, all that good stuff. So if you are losing clients are dropping off mid-project, clients are unhappy, examine this onboarding process. Don't resist it. You're getting feedback from the marketplace. Or maybe the other example here is a brand designer who won't stop offering 5 logo options, even though it slows delivery and confuses clients. Too many options is not good. Now, if someone pays you 10 times, the average project size, and they want a lot of options, that's fine. But in general, give them, maybe instead of doing 5 logo options, 5 creative options, give them 3, right? Or maybe bring it down to 2 and make that part of your contract, that I will give you 2 concepts, 2 logo concepts, not 5. So too many founders, they just protect their plan or their vision as if it's something sacred. And they refuse to let the market and the feedback they get from the market taint their clarity. But if your vision or if your plan cannot survive real world input, it won't survive in business. You can spend months guessing, or maybe 6 minutes getting advice from someone who's already been where you're going. So getting feedback from the clients is important. Asking people who have been doing what you're trying to do will help make your offer, your deliverable, your business idea, your business model stronger. It's not going to weaken it. It's going to sharpen it. And I think ignoring this feedback, and I know founders should be, it's okay for them to be a bit stubborn. You want to be persistent. You want to be, you have a vision. You want to go after it. But if you're not getting positive input, and for weeks and months, and you're struggling, then it might be a good idea to listen to what people are telling you about your service and your packaging and your website, or whatever it is that you're getting feedback on. So that is the 4th assassin. And the 5th and last, and again, for those of us who maybe joined us late, we are covering these forces that are preventing entrepreneurs from either starting a business or growing and building and scaling what they've built. So if you have a question, you have a comment about your own experience, what has limited you, or maybe has caused you to put things on hold, or you're not sure why you can't really take that next step to start the business, to grow the business, to scale it to 6, 7, or 8 figures, leave us a comment. Leave me a comment right here, or even email me if it's something very personal, very specific. You don't want to share it online. Feel free to share it on go on startupwithfares.com and send me a note there. But back to the assassins, the number 5. Number 5 is the lone wolf syndrome. And everyone, entrepreneurs are tough. We can move mountains, but my friend, you don't have to be alone. So see some examples. We have business owners, or a business owner who's getting closer to 7 figures. They've done a lot. And this is real, folks. I don't make this stuff up. This business owner who's doing really well, and they want to grow, and soon they want to actually exit the business. And they are still missing the days when they are doing copywriting and postcard design and doing some design on their website. And they're complaining that they don't have time to do marketing. They don't have time to go and network and get bigger clients. If you are still doing everything that you were doing 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when you did not have the resources, there's something that's very problematic. You have to be able to delegate, to find people who can do some of these things for you, and they'll probably do it better than maybe you can do it. So this is one example. Another example is a social media manager. She's just too overwhelmed to market herself because she has no system in place. She has no processes, and she has no one maybe in her community or in her circle of professionals or peers, no sounding board on maybe what's going on, how others are solving this problem of dealing with 5 clients, and they all have their own social media handles and whatnot. So that's an example. Another example is a founder who actually is burned out because he thinks hiring a VA, a virtual assistant, or getting some admin help is too expensive. You will, if you're not delegating, if you're not finding help, you will burn out. So make sure you find help. It doesn't have to be something very expensive. You can start small, hourly, part-time, but look for help and focus on what matters to the business. Or the last example here is a PR consultant who keeps second guessing their pricing and never talked or does enough research to understand what the market, how others are selling, or maybe talk to a mentor, talk to someone who's been doing PR for a while. Go on Upwork or one of these systems and hire someone, pay them for an hour, and see how they're pricing and what works for them and whatnot. But the idea of doing it all yourself as a badge of honor, no, not later. Initially, as if you're just starting, yes, I want you to do everything alone by yourself so that you know what's involved and you know what great is going to be like, so you can hire for it. So that's okay initially. I want you to be very hands-on initially, but you can't grow, you can't scale if you're tied down by all these back-end type activities that end up sucking your time and energy, and you have no mental space, no mental capacity to think about growth. So founders who don't master the art of delegation take much longer to grow. And I did a whole episode on delegation, and we have actually a new video on our channel, on the YouTube channel, that we just launched last week on this delegation. And actually, in that video, I shared a tool that my team and I created for you. It's called the Founder Focus Optimizer, where you can go in and for a week or two enter all the tasks that you do and then the time you spend on, and then categorize these tasks into 4 categories: things that you are good at and you should be doing, things that you are good at and should not be doing, and then the things that you are bad at but should be doing, and then the things that you are bad at and you should not be doing. And then the tool, that the optimizer, will summarize all this for you and will give you a record of where your time is spent. And then I have actually recommendations on what to do with that data. So if you are not mastering the art of delegation, you cannot grow. And this is something that Richard Branson said, that for entrepreneurs who want to grow, you must know and master the art of delegation. So when I say this, I don't, especially if money is tight and cash flow is tight, I don't mean that you need to have and you have to be surrounded by a huge team. No, but you need a community. You need someone that you can talk to. So go to a networking events for people in your community. If you're an HR consultant, find a meetup where HR consultants gather. Go to a local conference, a regional conference, go on to an online conference, go to if your industry has an association, sign up to their newsletter, learn from others. Or if you don't have a whole lot of time and you have some money, hire someone. This is not a pitch for my services. I'm just saying, my friend, you can save a whole lot of time when you speak with specialists, with advisors. They can help you avoid dead ends. They'll help you, as I always say, get your destination with less bruises. So find help. Don't try to do everything on your own, especially after you've done it by yourself and you figure things out and you have some resources. You can find someone to take care of some of the mundane work, some of the back office work, where you can focus on the areas of growth. All right, because you were not meant to build alone. So if any of these hit close to home, any of these 5 areas we covered, whether it's perfection or the fear of selling or doing things alone, or any of these 5, I don't want you to think of it as a red flag. In a way, it is a red flag, but also it's, if you acknowledge it, it's a sign of awareness. And that's where everything starts to shift. Because if you're not aware of the issues that you have, and you're not open to feedback about the service or the pricing or even your approach to business, then it's going to be really hard. It's going to be a huge struggle, more than it needs to be, to get your destination and to meet your goals, whatever the goals are. Hitting seven figures, growing the business, hiring an amazing team, creating an amazing culture, making a lot of money so you can take care of your family and you save and help others. So whatever the case might be, make sure that you have a plan to address these 5 forces that are out there to get you. And I think it's all about launching before things are perfect, and then learning, adjusting, and then keep showing up. There you have it. Those were the 5 assassins that are out there. They want to sabotage your business, your growth. So deal with them. Let me know if you have any questions about anything we covered today, or if you have something, a business question about another topic. Again, feel free to reach out to us on startupwithfaraz.com or on the YouTube channel at Startup with Faraz. And if you're liking this content, I would appreciate it if you click subscribe, share this video with others who are thinking about entrepreneurship, those who are struggling in their business. Like the videos, share it, and then would love to see you every other Thursday. And then for those of you who are listening or watching later, again, don't be afraid of asking us questions. I'm there to help you get your business off the ground and scale it. And before we wrap it up, our Black Belt Startup training and coaching program, it's there on blackbeltstartup.com. We have a complete curriculum for everything you need in entrepreneurship, 60 plus modules. I also include a weekly office hour session for entrepreneurs to ask us questions, and I help them get unstuck, basically. And then we also have a number of we have a pricing course that we launched recently, and then we do have a free course. You can finish in 1 hour. It's 12 modules. Yes, 12 modules, and it will give you the essentials, like the things that you really need before you start, or if you're struggling. And for those of you out there who are loyal listeners and watchers of these live streams and these episodes, we do have a special discount for you. It's a 20% discount on all things Black Belt Startup. It's the code is BBSU20, BBSU20. You can apply it anytime, and we'll be more than happy, again, to help you get your business off the ground. If you already started and struggling, help you scale and grow to 6, 7, or 8 figures. There you have it. See you next time.